everybody, welcome back to the club. If you're new here and watching on YouTube, don't forget to make contact by swinging the bell and subscribe to us as well.
We compel you.
We compel you.
Please do it.
Please.
I like hearing bells ring.
Yeah.
Because every single time they do, an angel gets its wings.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Jimmy Stewart. I
Yeah.
can't do Jimmy Stewart.
You can't
Yeah.
stop.
I used to be able to. Oh, yeah.
So if you're new here, the club is a little podcast, or if you're on YouTube, you can watch us talk about things on the podcast.
A vlogcast?
And it's a vlogcast.
It's a vlogcast.
Yeah, that's
Vlogcast.
actually fair because it really kind of just follows the arc of whatever normal conversations we would normally have. So none of this is scripted, none of it's pre-planned. We show up with a couple weird ideas that we want to talk about. And today we are delving more deeply into the
Lots of
the
things.
treasure trove of Mark's mind and what he's
Yeah.
what he has collected recently.
One thing that I'm curious, you said there was an update on the man pig, right?
I need
Dogman update. Dogman update.
Dogman, yeah,
Dog-
not man bear pig, Dogman.
Dogman, sorry.
Dogman update. Though it's funny, at work, one of my coworkers, you know him,
Wit. It's the only coworker I know of his.
Wit came up to me and he was like, "Yo, they were talking to me about the man bear pig." I'm like, "You mean the dog man?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, the dog man." So he totally said man bear pig too.
Oh, man.
But
Yeah, because he's old enough that
Yeah,
that was his era of South Park.
Yeah,
I
Man Bear
love the
Pig.
man bear pig.
yeah, man, who doesn't love the man bear
Yeah.
pig? Poor Alcor.
Right, what's up, Gore?
What's up, Gore?
Poor Alcor.
I forgot about that.
Remember Al Gore? Yeah.
Man bear pig.
Oh, we're gonna get to some us feeling old in a second too.
Yeah,
That's
for
another
sure.
thing I have planned.
Yeah.
But
Right on.
so there's been a Dogman sighting in Hardwick, and I've had a couple of people come up to me. I live on top of this mountain somewhere. Should I say where I live, or we're
No one's
worried
gonna
about-
find you anyway,
It's
so
a
sure.
small enough area, but
I guess I don't
also
have internet, so I
remote
can't get
enough.
doxxed.
Yeah.
I live on top of a mountain. It's called Standard Mountain, and
in the great state of Vermont, in
Yeah.
the United States. If you're listening from Iceland,
Iceland.
and you don't
Ethan,
know what we're talking about,
Ethan really hopes you're listening from Iceland.
That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
But yeah, so they were like, if they saw it in the town near Standard Mountain, it's gotta live on Standard Mountain. So I've had people promise they'll give me deer camps to set up in the woods to try and catch the dogman. So I might do that just for the podcast, and then maybe.
But if you do catch something, you'll show us, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
That'll be the
thank you.
thing is we'll look at the pictures.
Oh man, we do. You know what we should do? Maybe we should do like a podcast on location.
To
see if you can catch
a midnight
Dogman.
a midnight dogman.
You do like
cast.
Squatch hunters,
On
like those
catching.
finding Bigfoots. Like
Yeah.
we'll go in the woods, we'll get a real
Yeah.
dogman hunter, and you can
Yeah.
go like, what do they sound
Yeah.
like? And they'll hit a tree a couple times.
Catching
Maybe we should
Dogman.
link this video to the Dogman radio cast. And
There's
then
a
we can-
radio cast.
Yeah,
Right, you
there's
told us about
Dogman
this.
radio. Yeah, we can get the guy to come up, and then we could just like.
And he can tell everything about Dogman.
Yeah, we can be the skeptics, and then he can prove us
Where
wrong.
Where is he from?
I have no idea.
Is he close by? You think? Like, is he in the Vermont area?
I think that if we promised him a Dogman hunt in a recent Dogman location,
Give me his contact information. I'll email him tomorrow.
So is Dogman? It's not just a Vermont thing. It's
No.
It's
It's-
regional to the eastern United States.
Strangely, anywhere where you can find a black bear, the Dogman is also.
Most of North America.
No, so North America, Northern Europe, and North America, Northern
Are there
Euro
black bears
Russia.
Are there black bears in Europe, or is that a different?
I think it's a difference. No, they are black bear. I'm not a biologist, so
Well,
don't
I know,
quote
like,
me, but
you
I
know,
think there is.
It's like grizzly bears and brown bears are the same thing, but like,
No, they're not.
are there? Yeah.
There is a black bear
Yeah.
in all of northern.
I know there's a black bear in India. It's called
Yeah.
like a honey bear.
Yeah,
I
honey
love
bears.
honey and I love bears.
Uh,
I guess I would love a honey bear.
they're smaller.
Are they? Can you
They're a
cuddle
little
them?
small. You could probably cuddle any bear if you fed it enough
I
triangulars.
really want to give a grizzly a hug, but I know I would die.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like you want to hug that baby? I would want to.
Well, with the baby bears, yeah.
No, I want to hug a full-on
like a
grizzly.
full-on grizz.
But like only if he's trained.
You've seen that movie, right?
Grizzly man?
Yeah.
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 With,
did you see
with
this? He
Werner Herzog just being like,
And he hits the grizzly.
"Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" At the end,
It's
And then his girlfriend was gone.
they
Oh
showed
my
us
God.
that in
oh my god.
high school.
It's my favorite
sophomore
reaction.
year of high school in English class. We watched that
You watch Grizzly
In
In
Man.
English
English class? Why?
because Werner Herzog is a
He's an amazing director.
is an amazing director
Really?
and a good writer.
And have you guys
And
seen
he wrote
his
the
Nicolas Cage
narrative.
movie?
No,
Oh my
he made
god!
an
Oh, it's so good.
Every
Really?
director has made a Nicolas Cage movie.
It is
Well,
in the
yeah.
style of the bad Nicolas Cage movies, purposefully. That
So
way,
every
on
Nicolas
purpose.
Cage movie?
nice.
It's he plays like a New Orleans cop. I think it's called like New Orleans cop. It is amazing.
Probably.
It is amazing.
New Orleans Cop.
And Nicolas Cage is like,
Nick Cage is New Orleans cop.
have you heard the argument that Nick Cage is like a good actor?
I wouldn't disagree with it.
No, my theory.
I like watching him. I just think that he just is just he realizes when he's on set and it's like not great, and so then he just plays to it.
Well, he what people
Like, he
what
scales
he,
himself
what he would
for it.
say is basically like he's trying to do a different style of acting than what has been in popular movie acting since Marlon Brando, which is method acting.
Right.
He's trying a more expressive style of acting, which he bases on Native American spiritualism and kabuki theater from Japan. And it's all about being as expressive and extreme
Yeah, and if
And-
that's the case, and that is a thing, you know,
as
it's-
possible. And that's why it's always like, the beast, the beast. Because he's like,
No,
he's
it's
trying
true.
to be as
Well,
on as possible.
It's like if you watch like one cool thing on Netflix is they're doing a lot of like shows from other countries, like and it's not just like, oh, this is based here. It's like an actual like Korean director doing a period piece from Korea.
or like the Money Heist show and
Yeah.
Dark
That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good. That was
and,
really
but-
good.
and Babylon Burning. Was
But
that
people
another
think
one
that
in Germany?
yeah, and people like they watch like the Korean ones and they're like, oh, it's so soapy,
Mhm.
but it's not actually. It's just that culturally that's like where that theater came from.
Mhm.
So it's a serious subject, but it's also hokey because it just doesn't translate.
Though I have seen,
It just cannot translate to English, but I still watch it.
I have seen a Korean soap
Right.
opera where a woman takes a big handful kimchi that's been fermenting in a bag and slaps her husband with it. It's like, wah! It's so good.
Yeah, I mean it exists, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I can basically yes, I agree that I could see Nick Cage definitely also Nick Cage being that pretentious.
But I
to,
think he's an amazing actor. I just think
pull
he's
from
stuck in
Kabuki.
a lot of films because he's got to pay for his daughter's castle.
Got to pay for his castle.
His castle hobby.
His
He
castle
refabs
addiction.
castles, which we already talked about, I believe, right?
He does?
No,
That's
not on
cool.
the podcast.
No.
Oh,
podcast.
so Nick Cage, I was reading somewhere. Grant, I don't know how true this is because I don't know him personally.
I've
but
heard this before.
so like Nick Cage and his daughter or his child, what they do is they buy old castles and they refurbish them.
Like as like they flip it like you're flipping a
They
house.
they bring it back to like supposedly
Yeah.
what it's supposed to look like back then.
But they don't flip them.
But yeah, they don't flip them. They just
They
restore
just
them
hold on.
They
to
just
it.
hold on.
and they hold on to them. Yeah,
That
because they
must
want
be
them.
nice.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
so he has to work on all these bad Punisher movies and stuff just to keep up this like flippage. Because imagine how much money it goes to
Well-
refurbish like an old English castle from like
It's pretty
whatever.
Right.
Not saying it isn't, but that's a lot of money.
I mean,
That's a
Joe-
lot of stonework.
Yeah, I mean Johnny Depp owns one castle, and he was like, "Oh, I might,
And
have,
an
to,
island.
I might have to get rid of
In a
that."
mountain?
Cool. An island.
Oh, these
No,
are a mountain.
yeah,
That
didn't
sounded
Marlon-
better.
Didn't Marlon Brando give him the island?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Bring it back
yeah.
full circle?
Yeah. Did you guys hear
Bring it
about?
back.
There's a project by some historical society in France where they raised like some ridiculous amount of like multi millions of dollars to build a castle the way it was built in the like whatever the
What?
12th century.
I'm all about this. Where is it going to be?
It's in France. It's
Oh.
in like southern France.
I don't like France.
Well, regardless.
No, I'm kidding. I love France.
Lion.
They got crepes
Who
there.
doesn't want to hang out in southern France? Not me.
France.
But
All about
They're called freedom
so
fries.
they basically they raise this is arbitrary, but they raise like $200 million and they're paying people to take a rock and hit it on another rock to quarry these rocks out, and then they're dragging it on logs with like donkeys or whatever, and then they're hoisting it on like wood. They're building this whole castle the way it would have been built. So it's
Hmm.
going to take them 15 years to build. And so all of these people are making six-figure salaries, just doing it up with only period. So they only have iron. There's no steel tools. Maybe there is. There might be some steel by
Yeah.
that point. There was, but like it's crazy. All hand.
I wonder where they found that
Best
many.
job ever.
I wonder how they
Guaranteed
found.
20-year job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder how they found that many anti-vax historians, so they can give them all tuberculosis halfway through the building of the castle.
Yeah, do they get all of the
So
period
the
correct
only
diseases?
Oh, they're gonna have a bunch of like German historians run in so they can like pour burning oil on them.
While they're
It's
trying to
like,
build
all
the
right, guys,
while they're trying to build
It's
the
5
castle.
years in, here's a lottery. Whoever gets the short straw is going to get poured with burning wax. All right,
Yeah.
it's you. All right, Phil, get over here.
And prepare yourselves. Make sure you have a lot of dried things that don't go bad, because in 10 years you're all getting the plague and there will be no more farmers.
Yeah, none. No.
We only can give you wine because we have no water.
Because you all shit in the water. So
And you're gonna see weird stuff because all of the bread's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, hallucinatory bread. And yeah.
We inject penicillin into it, so enjoy.
get that castle fungus.
Yeah.
Asshole. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's basically
No, I know it
if we allow black mold to be airborne in our houses.
It's castle.
Oh, it's from because they put rushes on the floor.
Yeah.
So Dogman.
Sorry, that was a long
to bring
tangent.
it all back. We're getting Leonard Herzog
Dang.
to direct a movie in which the Dogman radio guy and us, starring Nicolas Cage, we find the Dogman.
This is wonderful.
It's
But
gonna be great.
I truly think we should contact this
You
man.
should contact me.
And
should.
we should do an on-site, like, finding Bigfoot, but finding Dogman.
Finding Dogman. We should do Finding Dogman.
We should
Yeah.
make it live, do a Facebook Live session.
You should do a Twitter,
Finding
Facebook
Dogman.
Live, Instagram, the whole nines.
The
all
nearest
the
Bigfoot sighting is in Whitehall, New York, which is
Nope.
No,
Rutland.
no,
Whitehall.
no.
No, there's one in...
No, Franconia Notch.
Oh, really?
It's close
Yeah.
by, because
Oh, wow.
I did a
Okay.
New 7
That's
story,
really
and I
close.
met the Finding Bigfoot people.
They went to Franconia, and they actually did an episode there. And then
And the guy in the Bigfoot costume got out after their trip to Whitehall. Did a couple run-bys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they went up to to Bretton Woods, and they met one of the guys. There's a bunch of people at Bretton Woods who do like historical, like the Ricola guy with the big horn.
Yeah.
They do that up there.
Oh, what are those things called? Flugelhorns? No.
Yeah, no, but they're
Whatever.
yeah, and they're like, do you want to hunt Bigfoot with us? And the guy's like, sure. And so like there's this guy Lee knows it walking through the woods. It's great.
I would love that they didn't ask him, and all he's like, they're just going, woo. That's it.
Well, that's what they did. They were like, oh, is that a Bigfoot? And then it's this guy
In the woods,
blowing
they're
this
like,
horn, and they're like, you want to hunt Bigfoot with us? Yeah, sure. Fine.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
All right. So
I like how those guys have degrees in finding Bigfoot. Like, where did you get that degree?
you mean
Phoenix?
you mean
What is that, like?
Parabiology? Is that what it's
Whatever
called?
their degree is, they have one in that.
No, cryptology. No, cryptozoology. Cryptozoology.
It's like a weird degree.
Cryptozoology.
But, like,
that's the term. I used to love this crap when I was a kid.
It's awesome.
But not,
Yeah.
The concept is pretty.
not just those people have it. It's like the ancient alien guys
Yeah,
have it.
it's about studying not animals that don't exist.
But how do
Sounds
you
awesome.
how do you go to college for that?
It's called you pay a lot of money. It's how do we go to college for music business?
Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we all have a degree in music business.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I got one in TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of doing what we're doing. Kind of
And
using it.
no, you basically go to like one of those like self-structured schools where it's like you go to Sterling College and you create a self-structured major in cryptozoology.
No, I'm sure there are like colleges, especially like
Well,
online
you
colleges.
could
that give it
you
to
could loop it into like
Does Bill Murray
like
teach that
social
class?
studies though, and just be like the history of cryptozoology and just not tell anybody that you're actually.
Bill Murray would only teach like baseball, the history of baseball. That would be his class.
It'd be funny if he came in as like his character from Ghostbusters and taught a whole semester of ghosts.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That would be hilarious. I would pay for that class.
You would probably just do it so he could do the thing he was doing at the beginning of Ghostbusters.
No, he could come in as Steve Zissou and teach cryptozoology.
Yeah,
for sure.
there you go.
That would be amazing.
Oh man, I love me some Life Aquatic.
Yeah. Bringing
Oh, I
that
can't
back.
believe Owen Wilson played in that movie.
He was
He
great.
did.
Yeah.
He did. That's another actor that's underrated.
Owen.
I think he's a good actor.
Wow,
I think he's
guys.
great.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
I love it when he
he's
plays with Vince
typecasted.
Vaughn, though.
He is his
When
own
he's with
typecast.
Vince Vaughn, those movies are killer.
Wow, Vince
Like
Vaughn.
Google,
Wow.
All the Wedding
Internship or whatever it's
Crashers.
called.
Wow.
The internship was great.
That was
really
great.
Wedding
fun.
Crashers is funny.
Yeah. That was
At the
kinda
end with
great.
Will Ferrell with Crash and Funerals. Remember that? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh yeah.
That was so bad.
It's
Oh man, Will Ferrell doing his weird thing.
Huh. All right, so now I've got another segment for you guys.
All right, tell me the other segment.
All right, it's where I say some dates and it makes all of us feel sad. It's the segment. I'm gonna.
Watching Mark try and remember his smartphone.
Oh, I know. It's
unlock pattern.
It's less about remembering my smartphone unlock pattern, more am I dexterous enough to perform my smartphone unlock pattern.
That's why I have an iPhone.
So,
Just beep boop boop. That was my birthday.
I just do this. I just go, yeah, my face is the same. Thank you, iPhone.
all right. So I'm gonna list some things. And I'm gonna ask these guys to tell me how old it is. So how old is Tony Hawk Skater 2? Pro Skater 2.
Oh man! All right, that was like what, like 95?
Well, I mean, there's when were we aware of it? Because we would not have been aware of it in '95. I mean, maybe you were. Did your dad play it?
Yeah, remember there's also a Tony Hawk Pro
No,
Skater.
There's no way.
Okay, maybe Tony Hawk Pro
it's the
Skater was
second
90.
one.
Because I remember the PlayStation first came out, I got it for that unit.
I'm gonna say '99
Because the big one was Pro Skater 2.
because Tony Hawk didn't get the 900
I love
until
that.
at least
love that.
2002, 2003. So I'm gonna say '99 because he was already famous.
Very close. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 came out in 2000. It is 19 years old.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
That's bananas.
Jeez.
Okay.
That's crazy because we're almost 30.
Dang, that game's old. Wow, I love that game. I still play that game to this day, honestly. I downloaded it for my PlayStation 4.
How
That's
old is
great.
Chocolate Rain?
I know this one already. We already talked about
We
this.
talked about this. How old is Chocolate
Well,
Rain?
so YouTube started in 06, 04. We should know this. We're on YouTube. Chocolate Rain. I'm gonna say. I don't remember. It was in high school, wasn't it?
Chocolate Rain
2004?
came out in 2007.
2007. Okay.
Chocolate Rain is 12 years old. Chocolate Rain happened 12 years ago.
Takes his mouth away from the microphone so he can breathe. Chocolate rain.
That guy still has a channel, I think.
He does.
Oh yeah, he posts stuff all the time.
There's
How old is Pokemon Red and Blue?
Pokemon Red and
Blue.
Blue.
That was
very old.
that's like
because-
95, 94.
Well, it was Game Boy Color.
Because that came out. Was it Game Boy Color? I thought it was Game Boy.
Was it?
The original one was Game Boy.
It was.
They came out with Pokemon Yellow for Game Boy Color.
Okay, so then red and blue is color then because
Red and Blue is the original one.
Oh, they're-
It came out yellow.
Like
so then that is I want to say 94, 93.
I'm gonna say 2002.
1998.
98.
Pokemon Red and Blue can buy a beer. It can purchase alcohol. It's 21 years old.
So the Game Boy. So the Game Boy before Color lasted a long time. Then when did the Game Boy come out?
Came out like in
It
the
came
80s.
out like no.
Didn't you? Don't
So
think?
no.
It's probably like 90. But I mean, so that's a good 10-year stretch before
No.
Color.
I don't have
Right?
Siri or Cortana, so I'll just say my phone. Phone. When did the Game Boy come out?
Game Boy was introduced in 1989.
89.
Wow.
Oh, so I was right. The 80s.
Yeah. So
You
it
were
lasted
right.
10
Yeah.
years before the Color.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's legit.
Because it was Tetris that was on it.
Tetris and Pong.
And Pong.
I
And
think,
Pac-Man.
and I want to say
I remember
Zelda.
Sonic was on it.
The first,
Sonic
there was a Zelda.
Sonic was not on it.
Yeah, it was.
That was nope.
That's
Sonic at Sega. Sega had their own little unit.
They had
at
the
time.
Game Gear.
I had that. had that.
They had
Oh,
the
it's
Game
Donkey
Gear.
Kong.
Donkey Kong is.
Donkey Kong was on.
Yeah, you're right. Donkey
Yeah,
Kong's a
for
Nintendo.
sure.
Donkey Kong. Yeah.
King.
Because I got my
But here's
first.
one.
My
Here's
first,
one that this will make me feel old. I don't know if it'll make. When did Donkey Kong 64 come out?
Donkey Kong 64's initial release date is November 22nd, 1999.
Now here's a question. What was the first game console you guys had? I'm assuming did you get one at all?
We weren't allowed to have a game console.
So that was the same thing with me
Yeah.
until like my brother was basically born. I got one. But what was your
Yeah.
first one?
Really? My
Yeah.
parents were very open to game consoles, and they got a lot of the educational games.
Yeah, that's what my parents got. I got like math blasters, reading blasters.
No,
So I got them on a console as well.
I got them in PC only.
That's
My
what
mother
I had. See,
also
I had PC games, but I
Yeah.
didn't have Game Boy, PlayStation. any
Never
of
had
that.
any
My
of that
mother
stuff.
also had like kind of fond memories of watching her younger siblings play the original Zelda on the Nintendo.
So yeah,
Okay.
So my mother wanted to play Zelda.
that's awesome.
So she got the Super Nintendo for me. We bought it at the Toys R Us down in New Hampshire. And we also ate at I think we ate it at Olive Garden or something.
But yours was a Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
So, my father, we live in the duplex in Connecticut with my parents, and they had a room that I wasn't allowed into, and I didn't realize this until I was of sane age, realize what this room was.
It was a dungeon.
It was a nerd room.
Oh.
He had Atari.
It wasn't
No.
Marilyn Manson's grandfather.
He had an Atari. He had a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo, and he had every game you can imagine in there.
Yeah.
But we weren't allowed to play games because it was too violent at the time. But he had all the crazy games. So then eventually it was Christmas one year. And I was I want to say 4 or 5 years old, whatever. And my godfather, because we're Greek, so he has to be this crazy, gives us a crazy gift. And he gives me a Sega Saturn. It was the first console I remember that did discs.
Yeah, it was.
First console did discs. And I remember the first game I got was Virtual Fighter,
Nice.
Virtual Cop, and what did I get? I got Gax, which is this lizard game.
Yeah.
And Clocksworks.
Gax Gecko.
Clocks, yeah. And
Who
Cl-
just
and-
spoke in movie parodies.
Yeah, and then it had Clocks the Gecko, or no, Clockswork, which is a twist up night doll, and he goes around this toy place to get his princess. Really horrible game. And yeah, so that was the first console I've ever actually had. And then, later on I played the Nintendo with my father, but yeah. No, I'm just curious.
First video game you guys ever played. What was your first that you remember? The first one you ever put your hands on?
Zelda,
Zelda.
the Gold Edition.
The gold edition.
Yeah, I
of Zelda.
snuck into my dad's room, and that's when I started playing games.
I don't know what it would have been. It would have been a really bad PC game.
Like Chip's Challenge.
You know
or
what it
something?
was? This is really weird, but it's true. So my grandfather is an Air Force fighter. Well, obviously retired now, but was an Air Force
Oh, man.
So
fighter
we have
pilot.
those hardcore simulations.
So he had and it's not it's for fun. It's a for pilots one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just painful. And I remember getting to sit on his lap and play it and just bombing every time. He'd be like, not a pilot yet.
Yeah.
That's the first one I remember playing.
Yeah, because I've played some of those before. They're intense.
Really hard. And it'd be and of course this was, in the 90s, so it'd be not a great screen, not a great computer
No.
screen. So it'd be this little pixel.
Yeah.
And you'd be you gotta start shooting at that right now.
Yeah.
And be okay, oh, you're dead. And it's really?
Windows Flight Simulator was.
And it's really? It's oh yeah, you died.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's that's what's in real life. I was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then he had weird. Oh, A Bridge Too Far. It was just this strategy game before they were popular. It was OG strategy game, and you just move these little units, but you had to draw lines.
Mhm.
So it looked you're in the T.
Mhm.
You see there's the red line, the blue line. Well, you would literally take and draw a red line where you want your unit to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a strategy game.
Sounds like fun.
No, what was your favorite
It
game?
was hard.
Well, my first game that I ever played when I was a kid was Zelda. It was Link to the Past
Okay.
because I had the Super Nintendo.
I like Zelda. I liked it a lot. It took me at least a couple of years when I started playing that game to realize that it was Link you're playing as, not Zelda. I realized Zelda was a woman. Literally when I talked with my dad going, "Oh, Zelda sucks." He goes, "No, she doesn't." "Oh, what do you mean she?" I didn't get it. It was
Yeah.
Link, and you're saving Zelda.
When I got Nintendo 64, I had played it a couple times before because they actually had a Nintendo 64 at it's at Bretton Woods. They had a sports club.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really nice arcade there, and there was a guy
Oh yeah, I've been there.
who used to, because I used to get it go in. My mother would work; she'd be there all day. She used to work 14-hour days, and we'd show up at 3 in the morning. And she'd bring me because there was a pool. Screw it. So
Yeah.
pool.
It's a nice rec center.
But nothing would be open in the early morning. But the guy who ran the arcade got there that early, and so what he would do is he'd just unlock all the arcade machines.
Nice.
And
That's-
so
That's so legit.
Like- I've played lots of arcade like the X-Men one with all the different
Yeah.
with where 6 players can play. I've beaten
Yeah.
that because when you don't have to put quarters in, you can actually beat it eventually.
I have memories of being at our local ski area, Burke. They used to have arcade games there,
Mhm.
and I would like I wasn't old enough to even reach or play, but I remember watching older kids play the games and being like, that's awesome.
But they had a Nintendo 64 that you could demo there,
That was a thing back then. A lot of game places had that.
and he
It's a
he
thing now.
actually
You go to Walmart and
let
stuff, right?
me.
Well, back then you didn't have
but
Walmart
they
GameStop.
weren't selling them at GameStop. They didn't have
There
them.
was Walmart, wasn't there?
There was Walmart, but
It wasn't
but
like it is today.
they
That's
they had them at Toys R Us's,
Yeah,
and they also put them in arcades.
smart.
And so when they got it, he didn't install it for like 3 weeks, and he let my mother and I take it home.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And my mom's like, "Well, we gotta get this now because I want to play Mario."
Right.
See, my mother always thought she'd want to play these video games, and then she would like get too sick. It would always make her motion sick, so she couldn't play it. So she'd watch me play it.
You remember Spyro the Dragon?
My brother to this day
PlayStation.
loves those games. They came with a new game series for Spyro. My brother bought them all.
Spyro.
My
I never
friend
was a
had-
PlayStation
my
guy
friend-
until too.
I had a friend who was like, the kid that had the biggest TV, and he had like one of those huge projection TVs, like the scary
Oh
ones. It's
yeah.
like, you turn it on, everything's like, phew,
Like
like
power dims in the house.
like one of the OG,
My yaya had one of those.
like actual, like the term big screen TV is from those.
Yeah.
And his little brother was like a Spyro prodigy, and he would just like, we would be so nauseous. Like even like the kids be like, Jake, you gotta stop. Like, can we play like snowboard or whatever?
Yeah.
And, like, can we just play
Cool
some
Borders.
Cool Borders, yeah.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
Man, I was always
See,
the guy
on,
with shorts.
on the
Freaking
N64
love
we
that
had
game.
SS Tricky.
We play Cool Borders, and then we play
That was a snowboard game.
I know.
NHL.
Everyone had it. I think they came with like
Yeah.
everyone's like
Yeah,
PlayStation.
they did. Yeah.
I had that. Cool Borders. Spyro. What was the other game I had that I always played? I can't remember.
So we're
Oh,
going.
so it was Darkness something. It was like a little kid and a dog, and the dog gets stolen. You have to go get it back.
Yes.
What's that game called? And you go against these like oil monsters. Man,
Yes.
what is this called? What was it called?
I forget.
Oh, man.
Sounds really bad.
So
It was a bad game.
Welcome
It was
to the Club
three.
Podcast.
it was
Us looking
three-
things up on our phone.
It was 3 discs long. I
Yeah.
remember like you
Wow.
could never beat it. It was 3 PlayStation discs long. Like
Well, Final Fantasy VII was like 4 or 5, I believe.
oh yeah, no, that was. But like, I was just impressed.
Yeah. Tune in a couple weeks from now when Leonard Herzog directs us finding the Dog Man, and we give him a PS4. Will the Dog Man be able to beat?
Comprehend.
Will the Dog Man be able to be as successful at making Skyrim builds as us? Probably not. You just chose Nord because everyone chooses Nord. Why are you playing a Nord magic user? God.
I only figured out that you can be a dark elf and then also be able to be a vampire and a werewolf at the same time. Crashes the game, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It works.
Dova Kun.
It's not worth it.
Dova
It's not worth it.
Kun.
I'm gonna find that game. Matthew played
Yeah.
it all the time. I
Weird
can't remember.
hybrids.
It was a crazy game because like you had this spaceship, you crash land on a cliff. It was really cool though because it did like that weird thing that they do in the movie with Drake, Uncharted. And you know they like when you play that game and like you were forced to like play this way and then it forced like and then it was like he's in front of you walking towards you.
Yeah,
It's like
so
the first
annoying.
game that did that. So you'd crash the cliff and you're walking this way, and then like.
It switches, and you're like,
But then it goes to the next screen, but then you see a monster walking behind you. And then you are on the other screen now, but you know that monster's coming because you saw
Oh,
it
that's
previously.
awesome.
So if you go back, you can beat it up, but it was like really weird because you see it coming, but
yeah.
he doesn't see it. And then it was like how it did like force perspective and how it did like different angles.
Sounds
It
a
was-
little bit like Abe's Odyssey.
that's a game that was really awesome.
That
And everyone
game
became
is-
sandwiches.
Yeah.
That game was messed up. I played that game for the first time on a
I
PlayStation.
wish they
on a
were still
PC.
making Oddworld games because that was
They
a really
stopped
cool.
like what in 2008, right?
The last one was the Western one that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the first one was so weird. He works in a factory and then he finds out everyone's retiring, but they're all turning them into cheeseburgers that they sell at the factory.
Yeah, so basically, like the idea is, it's like a lot of really rich subtext, and all the
It's like
creatures are
Sweeney Todd-esque.
all the creatures are supposed to represent like personality types.
Yeah, okay.
So like all of the like CEOs are basically like these weird armless pig men but all of the workers are like this strange race of aliens, and their eyes and their mouths are sewn shut. And what happens is Abe, his eyes are opened literally, and then you have to like try and save all the little oddlings, and you're like, oh, I work at this factory, and like you're a janitor.
Okay.
And you accidentally walk in on a meeting, and it's like, oh, they've been, because basically like you find out that like there used to be like this like very strong native like population of these things, and they had their own culture. And
Yeah, yeah.
you've been taken over by these guys, and you've been basically the animals that are very sacred to you. You know, you're basically like killing the buffalo and turning them into cheeseburgers, but they're running out of these animals, so they're like, well, why don't we just
Keep going.
just use the workers?
Yeah, she's
Just
retired
turn them
guys.
into
Yeah.
turn them into cheeseburgers,
Yeah.
and then that's when it's like, oh,
It's a really good game,
it's a
though.
good game.
I like that game a lot. That game used to give me willies when I was a kid.
It's spoopy.
Yeah,
There's like 3 buttons that just make you fart. It's great.
it is. There is. And
and
that's how you draw the monster's attention away. Like, you just, like, if he crouches, he, like, does, like, a noise, and then if he's, like, standing, it's like a...
Yeah.
And that's how you, like, distract, like, the weird robot turret dudes. That remind me of the Star Wars robots from Episode 1.
Which one's the?
The ones that were, like, the shield that go... Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. But they're, like, weird, like...
Droidicus.
Yeah, but they're, like, weird tarantula.
Oh.
But there are tarantulas in real life, and like not in real life, but in the Oddworld game, like
Okay.
weird tarantula, scabby things.
Watch as Leonard Herzog directs us farting the Wolfman into PS4. The Dogman. Excuse me, not the Wolfman.
While
The
also,
Dogman,
the dog
not Man Bear Pig.
Not
while
Man Bear.
also
Or
fighting
Werebear.
Dalek and Droidica hybrids.
I love the episode. I know this podcast is starting to get a little long, but I love the episode. I've never been a huge fan of Doctor Who. I know you're a huge fan.
I watch it from like every single. I watch.
But
it
I
from
love
Doctor
the
One.
episode of Doctor Who when they first reintroduced the Daleks, and they're just like, "Oh, we'll just go up the stairs," because that always used to work. And then it's like the music is like ba 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 ba, and like it's just like ah, and it like there's a really bad effect of it slowly floating, and everyone's like, oh, the stairs don't work anymore. It's like that's when I was like, yeah.
I like it.
Many times I was like, eh.
I liked it when they had like those doctors and they like just when they rebooted, not rebooted, but continued it in the
Yeah.
2000s. Like they kept the bad effects.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Like,
great.
Oh, this gets me going. I like it. But now when they brought in the other guy, Matt Smith, when Matt Smith started, they're like, "Oh, we gotta amp up the digital effects." Like, no. That's what you got.
There's a lot of
I think it's a good.
I'm not saying it isn't good.
a lot of people don't like him for a lot of reasons.
I like Matt Smith.
If you watch Sherlock Sucks and Here's Why by H. Bomber Guy,
I like them all. I'm not gonna say, but my favorite one would have to be Doctor 2, which is the bowl cut guy with the clown shoes.
Yeah.
But rebooted Doctor, I thought David Tennant did a good job. But I
He
would
was
like to
great.
see the first Doctor Now, the bald guy,
yeah, he
who
was
came
great.
back.
He was,
He was
good.
great, but he was only around for like one season because he had to do Heroes as the Invisible Man. Like, no one cares,
Yeah.
man. Heroes went down the hill.
Heroes was bad.
Yeah, thanks, writer's strike.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys deserve more and you deserved your pay. Sorry.
Yeah, it also killed Pushing Daisies though, so they should
No one
all be
cares about
turned.
that show.
Pushing Daisies was
My
alright.
favorite show.
Pushing Daisies. Was
Yeah,
alright.
Heroes was good too. They
No,
left
it
it on a
wasn't.
cliffhanger.
They did the same thing with Pushing Daisies.
I don't care about Pushing Daisies.
I'm gonna cry. Not gonna cry.
No, it was a good show.
Are you also a fan of The Good Place?
I love The Good
It's
Place.
a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Is it that the same person?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, that makes sense. Both very good shows.
they?
You mean made by the same people?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But did you know
I
there's?
thought you meant it's still the same person making it, and I was like, yeah.
I say to people all the time at work, why isn't this happening? I'll be like, 'cause you're basic. I love that.
Oh my god.
You're basic.
Pulling that one out from 2014.
The
But
Good
I
Place.
do like The Good Place, but I also think it's funny how it's in the same universe as Parks and Rec.
Is it?
Yeah, so the safe that Hindu guy or
Did we
the
talk
monk,
about this on
we
the other
talked about-
podcast?
No.
No, we talked about this on the phone,
Yeah,
which
this
is
is the-
why I just came with the idea.
This is the issue of having a podcast that is also just a regular conversation, because it's like a little hard to know. Are we like messing with continuity or anyway?
We'll have a crisis on Infinite Casts later. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's gonna be
But
great.
no, so like the monk who's not a monk on the show. Sorry if you watch it.
Yeah, spoilers for anything. at any time.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
We should
right
put
now,
We should put us.
I'm throwing that up there. Anything at any time, there could be spoilers. If you haven't seen the latest, anything.
Or you just haven't seen it. It could be from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're gonna give
Oh, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you're basic.
We'll give you the whole
Yeah,
plot.
basic.
Yeah.
But no, the mug guy, right? So like so I'm
He's a
watching. it.
DJ from Florida.
He's
Yeah.
a DJ from Florida, but how he died, he fell asleep in a safe that was airtight. And if you looked on the safe, it's a Swanson and Swanson Safe Company. And then on a podcast, which is also in the same universe as that movie. Well, so we ended that podcast. If you notice, we have drinks now. That podcast, the battery died unexpectedly. But what I was saying to you before you told me a couple seconds ago that doesn't exist, is I thought the same thing about how Ron Swanson was not in the Good Places universe. Swan Johnson, as
Shawan Bobson.
as we started to call him in the break. But there's a podcast that they did. There's a real podcast, and they played a fake commercial. And the fake commercial was the actor who played Ron Swanson
Swan Bobson.
saying that he has a safe company. And then he goes, due to recent issues that have happened, the safes are actually vacuum sealed. And when shutting yourself in one, you will die. Please do not do this. Blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I saw it in a blog post. Maybe it isn't canon, but it was funny. So
So remember, if you don't want to die in a vacuum sealed safe, remember to
or airtight safe, vacuum sealed. I mean, with some guy over here with a freaking like sous vide bag. All right, let's marinate this baby in here. Sorry, I get too technical.
sous vide bag. If you don't want to be sous vide bagged by Shawan Johnson,
Swan
remember to hit the subscribe button and swing that bell.
Please swing it.
Swing it.
Also,
Swing it and ding it.
Yeah.
Also,
Ding, ding.
if you get even extra excited and you want to follow our daily life, my Instagram handle is @TylerKittleman.
I am Ethan_Kosenska. If you can't spell that, that's okay. Just look it up anyway.
I'm Sir Edward Prize on Instagram and on Twitter, but I mostly talk about Dungeons and Dragons there.
It's a great Twitter feed. You should follow it if you like that stuff.
I take
really-
sad photos of trees.
And I just take photos of vents and my face.
And videos of him going, okay.
I did do that. I do that.
And that's what my mom was like. My mom was like, is that the face he always makes?
Yes.
But, yes. Well, until next time. Thank
Until
you.
Next time. Happy painting.